The thalamus that's still misfiring. Neurologists can't stop it. Asterisk 894 words, ready to record. Right now, deep inside your brain, your thalamus is misfiring, flooding your cortex with unfiltered signals, and neurologists admit they can't stop it. It sits at the center of your skull, an egg-shaped switchboard deciding what you notice and what you don't. Tonight, that switchboard is jammed open, and the people who study it for a living cannot flip it shut. You call it being distracted. It isn't. Every second your senses send your brain a fire hose of data, sound, light, pressure, memory, worry, and the thalamus is supposed to gate almost all of it out, passing only what matters to your cortex. When it works, you can read one page and forget the hum of the refrigerator. When it misfires, the gate sticks open. The refrigerator hum gets equal billing with the sentence you're reading. Your thoughts get equal billing with a text notification. Nothing gets filtered. Everything gets in. That exhausted, static feeling by 9 p.m., the one you blame on a long day, that's not fatigue. That's an open gate. You didn't run out of energy. You ran out of filtering, and nobody warned you those were two different things. Picture it like a nightclub doorman who's lost the guest list. Anyone can walk in. The important signal, your child's voice, the deadline in your head, the thing you were about to say, has to fight through a crowd of noise that never should have been let past the rope. Researchers call this failure of filtering sensory gating, and they can watch it happen on an EEG in real time, a spike called P50 that should shrink the second time a sound repeats, and in a misfiring thalamus doesn't. The brain hears the same doorbell twice and panics twice. It never learns the sound is safe, so it keeps flooding your cortex with the alert signal over and over, and you feel it as scattered, wired, keyed up, even sitting still. Multiply that one doorbell by every notification, every passing car, every half-remembered errand your brain refuses to file away, and you start to see the scale of what's leaking through a gate that should be shut. Here's the part neurologists don't like saying out loud. They have no drug and no procedure that reliably closes this gate. Sedatives dull the whole system, cortex included. You don't gain focus, you lose function. Stimulants can sharpen filtering for some people and worsen it for others, because the thalamus doesn't misfire the same way twice. There's no dial anyone can turn from the outside. Whatever regulates this switchboard has to be regulated from inside your own routine, and most of the guidance in circulation was never built for that job. And here's where it gets stranger. You've been told the fix is just meditate, sit still, breathe, empty the mind. For a misfiring thalamus, that advice can backfire. Stillness removes the one thing that was giving the gate a job to do, a single dominant input to lock onto. Take away all input, and an already leaky gate doesn't calm down. It drifts, grabbing at whatever stray thought passes by, including the anxious ones. That's why some people sit down to meditate and end up more agitated than when they started. The silence isn't soothing an open gate. It's leaving the door propped for anything to wander through. So what actually works is close to the opposite of emptying your mind, giving the gate exactly one thing to lock onto, deliberately loud enough that nothing else competes. Neuroscientists studying attention call it sensory dominance training, but the performers who use it just call it the one-channel rule. Before a task that matters, they pick a single sensory anchor, one sound, one physical sensation, one narrow visual point, and they make it artificially strong for 60 to 90 seconds before they begin. A drummer keeping one loud click in headphones before a set. A surgeon running cold water over their hands until that's the only sensation in the room. A sprinter pressing a thumb hard into their own palm on the starting line on purpose, because one sharp point of pressure is easier for a leaky gate to hold than the roar of a stadium. The point isn't relaxation. It's giving your thalamus a guest list so specific it stops waving everyone else through. A strong, single, deliberate signal is easier for a leaky gate to hold onto than silence ever was, because silence has nothing to grip, and a flood has too much. You can try a version of this tonight before anything that needs your full attention. Pick one sense. Run your hands under water as hot or cold as you can stand for 30 seconds, or put on one sound, a single tone or a metronome, nothing layered, nothing with lyrics. Let that be the only input you allow for 90 seconds before you start. You're not clearing the gate. You're giving it a job it can actually do, closing around one clear signal instead of trying, and failing to close around nothing. But the thalamus isn't working alone in there. Right behind it, a smaller structure has been quietly rewriting which of those filtered signals you'll even remember tomorrow, and nobody's told you what it's doing yet.